All right, welcome back. It is early September 1863, and we'll start off here in Virginia. Not too much is happening. I'm going to send a couple partisan units up into West Virginia. Otherwise, everyone's pretty much sitting tight, except for who is this? Johnston's division will try to capture the rest of the Sabre Brigade. Um, Down here in Florida, this the Union force led by General Schenck has 4 divisions. Is actually here in Pensacola. It looks like they're kind of off in the water, but that's actually not the case. Johnston will arrive in 6 days and try to attack. Otherwise, our division, led by Churchill, will be on defense. Now, here's where it's going to get really, really interesting. Basically, Jackson and Polk will remain with 3 divisions. And I'm going to send the division from Fort Henry to Breckinridge's corps here. To counter any potential assault on Fort Henry, I'm going to send my fleet to Henry Ferry. In addition, we're going to put a sea mine down here. Now, at this point, it's possible for Keyes to completely march on to A.P. Hill's force. And so to counter that, I'm going to send a newly formed balloon unit, an artillery battery from Little Rock, supply wagon, and Armstrong, and then Henry Heath's powerful division from Breckinridge's corps. That will put 2 divisions here, which will include A.P. Hill's division. Shelby will attempt to assault and take Fort Leavenworth to essentially try to get back the strategic city and distract the Union. What's happening in Colorado? In Colorado, Baylor's force will begin to march on Fort Laramie. And that's pretty much it, which is a lot because there's a potential for a lot to happen here in Kentucky. As you can see, we're actually producing a lot of forces, and we have quite a number of replacements coming in as well, and we're going to increase the river pool. All right, let's run the turn and see what happens. Wow, it's been an incredible turn. Jackson did win basically a string of victories, but we was forced all the way back to Montgomery, Tennessee, and unfortunately, we actually have, as you can see, a few brigades that are actually being formed here in Bowling Green. Here is the Union force. Here's what's left of basically Jackson's divisions, which looks like they took very, very light casualties. Forney's corps took a few more casualties, and Breckinridge's corps took at least 2 of the divisions took pretty heavy casualties. You can see our national morale is now 161, and we had a plus 15 due to battle. So I'll go ahead and show you down here as well. The Union force is still here in Pensacola. Johnston was able to bring them to battle, and they're now retreating to Berkeley. So let's look at let's go ahead and just focus in on the battles, because I think that's probably what you're most interested in. There was a small battle in Dallas, and you can see there's really not much left of the Union force there. So the first battle happened on day 6, and we captured 6,000 prisoners. And you can see Grant had 122,000 men. We were able to bring about 74,000 to battle, and casualties were about 4 to 1. Although we did lose some artillery, so this was not completely. I mean, it was obviously heavier losses in the Union, but we took some casualties as well. And losing uh, some artillery could be the new rules about counter fire battery in battles. Um, Here was the battle in Pensacola. Um, Nothing huge. The Union did lose a couple cannon, as you can see. Um, we didn't capture any forces there, though. Shelby was quite easily able to take Fort or Leavenworth as we captured the two militia units there, and now we're in control of this strategic city. It might actually even make sense to go and attack Lexington. It doesn't really look like there's much there other than a militia unit. Not really sure what's here over here in Jefferson City, though. Here's the next big victory. It says we captured 20,000 prisoners, and so we actually looks like captured even more than they lost. Looks like General Logan was actually killed as well. And we had 92,000 men. They had 95,000. Losses a bit more even this time, but about 2-1 to our advantage. And that's as far as the battles go. That's what happened. Grant, interestingly, is over here, and here is Berry's corps, and then here is what's basically Foster's corps, which has a couple divisions in decent shape. If you're the Union, it's hard to know. I think you're going to be your morale is down to 70, but it's hard to actually. It's like I think the defeat levels we either have to get to 200, which is really hard to do, or perhaps they have to drop to 25. I'm not 100% certain. But they were able to essentially push us out of central Kentucky for the moment. Interestingly, the Union did not move on either Hill or either General Hill or General Johnston's forces, and now we have Mitchell's which I'm assuming is a cavalry division in our rear, which I'll need to take care of. One thing I forgot to mention is because of Union losing in Pensacola, I'm sending Gardner up to Nashville to support efforts here in Central Tennessee and Kentucky, and then one division from New Orleans will go to Mobile, Alabama. That was really the big move. I didn't really see anything happen in Virginia. Our forces did make it to West Virginia. Otherwise, didn't really see any other movement. It looks like the Union did take Burkeville, and now there's a small garrison there. So we'll still need to try to go after the Union cavalry force here. See if there's anything else going on. Doesn't look like it. The Union fleet did not come out. They do have a couple of divisions here in Cairo, so I moved this partisan unit over to get some better intelligence, so you can see that. And we are only 3 days away. Oops, sorry. We are only 3 days away from Fort Laramie now, and we pretty much need to take it because we only have enough supply for 2 more turns. Looks like there's a couple Union militia units here in Texas. Okay, so if you're the Union, and you have really about 8 divisions in decent shape over here. You probably also have like another division or 2. Looks like they have another division or 2 over here in reserve. You don't have anything up here in Louisville, though. Grant is sort of out of place, and with not a huge amount of forces over here in Adair, Kentucky. And you still have your Union, you still have your small cavalry force here. So we have a couple options. We could actually rail back Our 6 divisions here are in pretty decent shape. Polk's Corps took the casualties, as you can see here, but Forney's Corps is in decent shape, including Kleber's division, which is very good, and Jackson's force is also in pretty good shape. We also have General Gardner, who's only 1 day away, and we could have that join one of the other forces, for example. We do have a couple small brigades and a militia unit that is besieged, so it would be a shame to lose them. I didn't expect our forces to retreat from Bowling Green so easily. I wasn't super surprised they retreated from Barron, although disappointed. But to retreat from Bowling Green too is a pretty big loss. Now because we can't defend against, we've been essentially pushed back to Tennessee. We still can, if we want to, though, rail over back to Bowling Green. So you can see Jackson's force can arrive in 1 day, for example. So definitely something to think about, and also have to consider how to deal with this Union cavalry division, as well as whether or not we want Shelby to attack Lexington. There is a depot there, so. All right, let's take a look at the messages. A lot of messages, 150, a whole bunch of units trained. All right, so the Union's made a whole bunch of decisions. Ooh, I wonder if did we damage ourselves? I don't understand that. Yeah. Let's take a look at our naval fleet. Yeah, so that's actually interesting. So I guess it's possible that if you put a sea mine down, that you can actually damage your own force. Did not know that, and that's actually good to know. Okay, so a whole bunch of movement, which is to be expected at this point in the war. So we captured 6,000 prisoners in the first one, and then I think we captured 700 prisoners in Leavenworth, and then 20,000 prisoners in the final battle. So about 27,000 prisoners we were able to capture this time. Okay, so we have several units finished, a couple sharpshooter units here. We have a whole bunch of forces that we can promote to a new rank. General Cheatham. Forrest, Polk again, and General Pemberton, and Hardy. So a lot of options to do some promotions. Have to see what makes sense and what you can do. Unfortunately, the way the game works is you can't promote if the forces are not basically if they're in a corps or an army, and you can't actually promote them without taking them out. So it's a bit annoying in that regard. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Our national morale is now 161, and I think we said the Union, we saw that it was dropped to 70 after those battles. Okay, see you next time.